baby's home. Cairo, Cairo is my baby's home. One bad Cairo night won't be long. Women in Cairo, they will treat you kind and sweet. Women in Cairo, they will treat you kind and sweet. Catch you riding and take you off your feet. Shoot you and knock you, teach you and cut you too. Shoot you and knock you, teach you and cut you too. They get through the graveyard, then for you. Cairo, babe. Cairo, Cairo, babe. Women in Cairo send you down to your grave.
All right. It seems my microphone was not on. Sorry about that. Let's take it from the beginning. I'm sorry. I was tinkering and changing some settings here, and then I forgot to reactivate the microphone. My bad. All right, so welcome to number 96 of this live stream. I've shown you guys Gary's here, Graham is here, Fresh E, Gothenburg moderator, Mr. Master moderator, who's going to ban you if you use any obscene words or whatever in the comments today. Number two, what are we going to do today? You who maybe clicked on this link to this live stream from YouTube search or some other way, And if you clicked because you saw the title of the song, I'll Fly Away, today in open D. And yes, we're going to do that, but we will lead it off with blues backup in standard tuning in E. And then we're going to be talking just a little bit about this self-confidence thing when you're starting off with something, starting playing slide, maybe fingerstyle, maybe acoustic guitar. After years of playing electric, or however you ended up here, you're more than welcome. It's going to be fun. And then, of course, we're going to do the song, I'll Fly Away in open D. Last week, we did the version in open G, and that was really nicely accepted. People sent me lots of kudos afterwards, and yeah, I'm happy about that. So that's what we're going to do today. Am I forgetting something? Let me see. Number 96, that's right. This is cool. Heading towards 100 live streams. And then, as I announced last week, I think I'm going to be changing something, but we'll talk about that when the time comes. Right. Let's do the backup. Do let me know if the balance between the guitar and voice is okay. Yeah, something like that. That's on. That's great. The past two live streams I've changed a little bit in the blues backup. So I've done the same pattern over and over for many weeks in a row, and I just felt like changing something, so it's not going to be this very slow blues like we can do that as well later on. But I kind of thought of, okay, I'm warming up for this live stream, and then I'm just here in the studio in my room where I'm actually working and playing and whatever. So I was just fooling around with the guitar, and I said to myself, okay, the first kind of rhythmical pattern in standard tuning in the key of E that I come up with for that day, that's going to be the backup for the evening. So here's what I came up with. That's right. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go to the B chord, but in this grip, then I missed it. So I did it again and kind of used it as the ending of this backup, which can be a good piece of advice for somebody who's like, oh shit, I made a mistake here. Doesn't matter. Just keep playing and then try to do it again. Those who know, those who play, they will appreciate that. Those who don't play, they're not going to notice anyway. So just keep the mask on. Okay, I didn't keep the mask on because this is a live stream. It's a very personal thing. So I'm amongst friends, so no big deal, right? So what I did here, what did I do here? Everything was based on a kind of problematic lick that I had a couple of weeks ago when I got this copyright claim from a record company, a publisher, or somebody. And I did this. I'll do it very shortly because otherwise they'll, kick me again. So it was like a a pattern that can be, found in Big Boss Man, My Baby, High Heel Sneakers, Tommy Tucker, and lots of other songs that have that kind of groove going, where you actually play the chord of E, then you go to the chord of A, and then play the E7. So we go back to E, on the treble strings. It would be. So I'm just using the bass strings instead in this kind of lick. What I like about this is like you're really treating your guitar as an, orchestra, as an organ, because you have this drone first string open that you kind of kick all the time. Bass is kind of following along, and the grips I'm using are basically E chord, but I'm playing only the 5th and the 3rd string. And the next grip is this 4th fret, 5th string, 2nd fret, 3rd, and then 5th fret on the 5th string, and 4th fret on the 3rd. So if we just think these strings, which corresponds but here up here we can kind of combine that with and all crazy syncopations in between, and we can turn the lick. We can play from this 7th and then we play basically a very similar thing in A. So that's what I was fooling around with. And then in the chord of B, I had this just a regular form of B chord. I just moved everything to the 4th fret. So I just moved everything there. But I played only the 6th string, the 3rd, and the 1st. And at first with a note on the 4th string, or 4th fret, and then I just kind of, so the melody was the way to be able to play this and syncopate at the same time and just have the groove in the back of your head and then just fool around with that. The key to that is practicing the grips first. So, which means E, A, E again, A, back to E. And you kind of start getting aware of what you're doing with your picking hand. Guys, that's why I'm wearing this t-shirt. It says you're on mute. And we are on mute as musicians. Doesn't matter if we're pros, hobby musicians, it really doesn't matter. But if we keep ourselves on mute and not just open up for other ways to play usual common chords or shapes, especially within forms like blues and country and I don't know, this traditional jazz or whatever. I mean, there are so many kind of idioms and phrases and some things that are kind of God-given. You have to play them a certain way, otherwise you're not playing blues. Of course, some of those licks are iconic, and of course we're going to do them. But I think we should kind of open for refining stuff. So don't complicate, refine it. Play simple things, but make it meaningful. Make it so that sounds like you really know what you're doing. If I would play this with just brushing with my picking hand, this is how it would sound. Right? That's kind of okay. That's great. Might as well take my flat pick and just play it like that. I don't need fingers for that. But the thing is that I'm also using a lot of control with my fretting hand here, because I'm not just letting everything ring like a... This would be when I'm not damping anything, I'm just letting everything come out from the guitar. And that's interesting for 10, 20 seconds maybe. If you're singing, of course, that's good. You can put something on top of that, some nice lyrics and whatever. Yeah, it's fine. But if you want to really, really play guitar with a little bit more sophistication, a little more, refining the whole thing, then the first stage would be to be aware of these chord shapes. And then if I'm just... This is the first stage of damping. So you play the chord and you dampen it with the fretting hand. And then you move. Here I just open up and then go to the A. That's already dampened a little bit, right? And then you go back to E. The next stage is that you're aware of what your picking hand is doing. So I'm kind of, okay, I'm gonna put my first string, it's gonna be with my middle finger, index on a third, and then basses with a thumb, and that's it. And this drone E down in the basses or up here is just, accompanying us all through this nice lick. Yeah, that was about this backup. And that leads us to another subject for today and for a couple of live streams in the past as well. This thing about self-confidence, some emails, whatever, when I talk to people on my workshops, a lot of time I get to hear that, my students or whoever I meet who is also playing guitar says, nah, I'm not good enough. I don't want to play. It's just like I'll never be able to play like you or somebody else. Somebody has Tommy Emmanuel as his idol. Like, oh God, I'll never be able to play like that, and therefore I'm not going to play anymore, which is really meaningless to say, because we're all just servants of music. It's a love for those wonderful sounds that can come from an instrument, and it doesn't matter really what technical level we are on. And I don't like dividing people and people who play guitar and in levels like intermediate, advanced level, whatever. It's just like, okay, we all just play music. And what I'm trying to do with both these live streams and all my workshops is to kind of let people come closer into the foundations of a good groove, because it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be very simple, but complex. Just listen to early blues masters. In many cases, they did not play very difficult. Those grips can, be practiced in a couple of months by almost everybody, anybody. It's the meaning that you give to those notes with your fingers and your emotions from inside. So when it comes to self-confidence and stuff like that, it's not about who knows more chords, grips, tunings, styles, or whatever. It's what we do with it. Yeah, compare yourself happily, but compare yourself to your own yesterday. If you learn something new today and just move on with that, that's going to lead you on. And just improve a little bit day by day, week by week, and do that for a year. And you'll be surprised with the progress. You'll be surprised. Good. Enough of that. I'm changing the guitar, switching to open D. And let me show you. Today's theme is going to be an open D, and these are just strengths that you need to tune to if you haven't done that already. So this is from your left to the right. It's your bass, the D, and then you go to A, then you go to D. On the fourth string, the third string goes down from G in the standard tuning down 1/2 step to F sharp, and then note of B on the second string goes down 1 whole step to A. And then the first string is D. Where's that? This is cool. So the first string goes from E whole step down to D. And let's hear that. So in open D, the main things to know about the tuning to start with, if you haven't played it before, is these like 2, 3 of these main chords, which means if we're thinking blues, 12-bar blues, we need the chord 1, 4, and 5. So chord 1 is, of course, just open strings, which is the D open. But then you have another form of D chord, can be up here and also up here, or all the octaves up on the 12th fret. So this form here is important, especially for this song, because the melody is going to start there. And if you just listen to what I've played previously in my backup, this is a very similar kind of... So very similar licks can be played in both standard tuning and in open tuning. Now, in open D, we have this chord. You see my index here is on the 3rd fret, 3rd string, and then the 1st string with my ring finger on the 4th fret, 1st string. If you want to add a nice 3rd to it, then you just grab the 4th string here. It's a really major chord, right? Chord 4, which is in this case chord of G, is either on the 5th fret, or you can grab it here, 2nd fret, 5th string, 1st string on the 3rd, and then your ring finger on the 2nd string, 2nd fret. And then your chord 5, which needs to be a chord of A, is here, A7 in this case. So it's the fourth string on the second fret. The third string is the same as in the shape of G. You keep it there. Just put the finger down here on the second fret, and then the first string on the second fret. And just... And now being aware of where these shapes are, chord shapes are, then you can really start controlling everything with knowing exactly where, okay, here's my bass, and I play the G chord here like this, or so you just start getting aware where your fingers are on these strings. That's going to help you a lot. If I just translate the lick that I played in the backup 2 minutes ago. So I'll just play the same thing, but now in open tuning. And it sounds very similar to that one because I'm using the same strings and the same pattern of picking with my picking hand. Okay. It's even the same strings, fifth, third, and the first. Good. So, I've seen some stuff happening here in the chat. Let me see who joined us. This computer's gone crazy. Where's my mouse? Here. Oh, I see people saying hello to each other. Gore, hi, good to see you. Thank you for your email the other day. That's great. Nice to meet you online like this. And David Hunt is welcoming you because he's an original gangster here in the live stream. Hello, David. Wonderful live stream today. I've enjoyed it so much. And I sang with you in the background. Nice that you never heard me. All right, so David says the open chord structure feels like cheating somehow. Yes, it does. Until we realize how beautiful and fantastic voicings open tunings can give us that standard tuning can never really do. Some musicians who are extremely versatile when it comes to harmony and chord shapes, usually jazz guitar players, they have, Iron Man control over the fretboard and everything. They can sometimes emulate open tunings, but when it comes to slide, it depends. It depends. But it did feel like cheating in the beginning. Yeah. David, you're my soul brother. I just said this, which you wrote in your comment. Thank you. All right, we're thinking the same. That's great. Good. So I think I just removed the tuning from our picture so you can see clearly. I can see clearly now. So I'll fly away. Let me play you the melody with kind of thirds or a little of nice cheating, as we call it now, without the slide. And then I'll add slide into it. So let's just go like this. This is the first grip as we started, the other form of chord of D. So. This could be a suggested playing of this melody without slide. I've used this accompaniment to accompany a female singer, and it went really well with, you know, I just play this very straight without even do this right nice thrills around the melody. No, I just played it really, really straight, because the singer lady, she was kind of improvising a little bit around the melody. So I gave her a solid backup by not just playing like a do 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 do. I fly away. Nice, of course. I would do that definitely in the beginning, but then I will go a little bit later on into do 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 do. So you're kind of playing in between maybe the vocalist's melody lines. So there are two scenarios. One, when you are the main artist and you're both singing and playing the backup and everything. And the other one is when you're kind of accompanying somebody else. So play sparingly, refine, don't complicate. You're not in focus, they are. At the same time, if we're playing solo and if we're singing, while I'm singing, the guitar is kind of in my background. I would never play too much on the guitar while I'm singing. So that needs to be in a nice balance with each other. Oh, David, that's great. Yeah, thank you. 500 subs. I've got this email from YouTube, and they say, man, you just filled the stadium. No, the jet plane. You just filled the jet plane with your subscribers. Is there a jet plane that can take 500 people? I don't know. Maybe the biggest, largest in the world. Yeah, I think I remember around 600 or something people. But anyway, 500 people. If I just count from 1 to 500, it's going to take me a while. So it's loads of people who are following this channel actively, more or less or whatever, but who choose not to unsubscribe, which is a great thing for me. So thank you so much. I just like this kind of support, and I'll keep doing my stuff, of course, because I like it. Right, so let me explain this. So I played the melody and I emphasized the first and the third string, and the lots of this melody is in thirds, which means harmonies. So, oh, sorry. Now this is a part of a, let's say, usual D major scale in open D tuning. So if you would play the scale on the first string, it would be if you want to play this in thirds, you just need to add the third string, so it's like a, and you have very same patterns all over the neck. So only the 5th and the 7th fret, you're gonna fret the same fret. All others are gonna be this. Same pattern back, and then, sorry, third, which means also on the 12th fret. So the 12th, 7th, and 5, those frets you play the same on first and the third string. The rest is always, the first string is kind of 1 fret ahead. So the melody to I'll Fly Away is using those shapes. Because the 2nd string and the 5th string are the same. It's A. They're just an octave in between them. So it's like a, if you want to play in octaves in open D, some wonderful shapes here. Great voicings there, so you can use that as well in your backup. building melodies, or whatever you want. So back to I'll Fly Away. So I'm gonna stop playing this big bass and I just go to the fifth fret, fifth string. So. And then when I get back to this fourth fret, then I use the bass again. And then we got it. So the sixth string is still kind of ringing in the background, but I'm playing this chord. And picking the fifth string, third, and the first. So. It's really nice, this. With this little picking with my bass, I'm keeping the rhythm going. And this is also what I mean with refine, don't complicate. Of course, it can be played more notes in between here, but I'm trying to emphasize the melody, and I like the. Have you noticed this kind of gliding with on the third string? So the third string is doing this. But it's not so audible. It's somewhere in the background because I'm picking the first string a little bit harder. So I went back to kind of E, but I'm keeping the third string pressed on the first fret. So I'm actually playing D sus chord, like you're adding on that instead of. Let me do it again. It's almost that I'm telling it, okay, now it's going to be the change to. And then all of a sudden this note that I'm already playing is going to be included in the chord that's coming up. So I'm following the melody. I'll fly away in the morning. And that's the part that usually is sung by somebody else, not maybe the vocalist himself. So yeah, I don't know. It's like that's the way I made my version of this song, right? So, and I haven't even played the slide yet. So let's go to that, to the second part of the melody. So. So here I'm utilizing the form of D chord and kind of gliding downwards. And I could reach these notes like a. So I could play them up here. So. Okay, but let's listen. How do I play it? Little jewel, I didn't put it before. I could have, because there are those notes, but I kept it until we play this. Fly away, oh glory, fly away in the morning. So it's, I pick these strings once, the second and the fifth, and then I kind of pull off, just remove my fingers. I go for second, third, second, and then release. Because I want this. I like this jump. It's different from. I'm thinking about it, maybe in one part of the song I do it one way, in the other part of the song the other way. So it's good to have those things in your kind of drawers in the back of the head, like, okay, which I'm going to use. But think about that, ahead, so that you know what you want to do. Because if you wait until the last second before you're just about to play it, then it might be a mess. Good. Sliding, guys. So now, as I also did with the open G, I'll just play the melody. No basses, no chords, nothing. Just the melody. We start from the 4th fret. Let's see now, so that you see everything nicely. Okay. Let me do it again. I was a little bit undeliberate when I was playing in the middle, so let's try to do it this way. So this is the simplest way when I utilized open strings as much as I could. And then there were also some notes on the 2nd string where I had to kind of dampen a lot, especially the 1st string. Because if I play 2nd fret on the 2nd string, then if I'm not playing basses, chords, or anything else, then I would use the dampening with my thumb here on the picking side. I will pick with my index here, vibrate, and then the 1st string is dampened also on the fretting side, on the picking side. Here as well, I need to dampen that to make sure this note is clean and nice. So I'm dampening with the 1st string here with my picking hand, and then I'm also fretting behind the slide with my index here, so I'm lightly touching the 3rd, sometimes even the 4th string, but usually I go up to the 3rd because I might need this 4th string open, like a, you're gonna emphasize that note of D twice, like a, and then you have the bass. So let's go from the start. And now I was thinking about, okay, should I show you this already, or am I going too fast maybe? But I just remember this is a live stream, and you can always come back and replay certain parts of this, so you can just go and listen to it again. So this is so either this note, or we go to this. This gives us two nice things. The first one is we can glide to that note, kind of from down and then to that note. Oh, sorry. And then we have the next chord is G, which is on the 5th fret. So if we use slide to emphasize that chord, it sounds like this. this is beautiful. This only Open D can give us this. In Open G, it was a very similar thing, but it's different in Open D. That's the beauty of these two tunings. I, kind of switch between them. I'm like in love with Open G for a while, and then I'm in love with Open D again, and whatever. But this emphasizes the melody so nicely. So if I do this. So let me show you what I'm doing here. I'm actually picking only the third and the second string, but you hear the rest of the strings where a slide is also, because if I do like this, I haven't picked anything with my right hand, with my picking hand. I kind of dampen the strings, then I place the slide, and then just kind of, I'm very determined. Okay, I'm just going to the 5th fret and then vibrate it. It's going to be. It's almost like this joke, no hands, no hands. But we utilize a lot of stuff that's happening in the background to our advantage. So I kind of keep the chord first, and then I kind of back off a half a step. So I start on the 4th fret, on the 3rd string, sorry, and meet that note on the 2nd string on the 5th fret. But then I just kind of release the slide and play the open 1st string and open 6th. So. And you have to be deliberate here. You have to be really determined to do it fast. If you don't do it, it's gonna, scrumble. It's gonna sound like I don't know. It's gonna rattle. Oh, sorry. As well, I could have played, since I want to play it with slide. Of course, there's a way to play. You can play the fretted note, the fretted chord, and it's going to be nice, but not just as nice. And not just as nice if you move to the 7th fret and do the similar thing like with the G chord, but now on the A chord. So. So up here on the 7th fret, and there's this nice audible contrast between the basses. So if I would play like this, so how was that different from the previous one? Listen again. These are kind of two deep basses following after each other. So first, but if I fret on the 7th fret, even the 5th string, then this big bass sounds deeper, bigger, right, than before. So the whole melody this way. And why I'm doing this, why am I, somebody would say, obsessed with these things? I have only one instrument. I've been playing as a solo musician for many years. Even when I play with my harmonica player, it's only the two of us. We don't have a bass player, there's no another guitar player. I'm responsible for chords, backup, not too many solos, but I mean, I like to arrange things. So in my case, it's like this D bass is the deepest note I have on this guitar in this song, and I don't want to just kind of fool around with it and play it too often because it's going to be boring. it's nothing that, let's say, the audience would be aware of. But that's when you lose interest from people. If you play without a bit of, refinement in your grips and your chord shapes and everything, I don't know. I just noticed that people are reacting more when I'm thinking of these things. Not so much that I'm aware of that. I'm not sitting at home like, okay, how I'm going to make this more refined than before. It's not that. Just things come to me from playing a lot. And this comes also back to this talk about self-confidence and doing things and believing in yourself and not comparing yourself to anybody else. It's about just doing it because you like it, and do it many times in a row, and you're gonna get bored with the same thing you've been doing. So you will have to change something. Sometimes you will miss a note or a grip, and something else will happen. Like, okay. I came up with one thing. Okay, I'll show you. I came up with that yesterday, but I was like, okay, I don't really have it in my fingers. I'm not going to include that. I might confuse people. It's not going to sound good, and I'm not even aware to 100% where that note was. So let me try to find it. And I was fooling around with the backup, something like that. But the bass would go down, 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 down. So basically, that would be B minor, and then A, and then D. If we go back like 20, 30 live streams or something like that, when I was explaining how Raikuder utilized a lot of these wonderful Mexican influences, Caribbean. He was listening to Joseph Spence a lot. And the whole thing when, let's say, Raikuder plays, everyone I know, she's crazy about an automobile. So here I am standing with nothing but a rubber heel. You have that kind of chord change in Mercury Boogie as well, when David Lindley plays it. If I had money, here's what I do. I'm gonna buy me a Mercury Cruiser up and down the road. So it's they're very connected, like a B minor, A, G, and D are like a, yeah. And there is this wonderful kind of passage from B minor to E. A lot of gospelists play this way. So I'm having all that in the back of my head while I'm playing I'll Fly Away. So I thought I could... Okay, I can't play the B minor bass. I mean, it's technically possible, but it's complicating things too much, right? So I don't want to complicate, I want to refine. So what I would do here is I would cheat. I would like to play like this. Or and then instead of playing G here, this is a beautiful chord change, like, but maybe some other time I would do. And usually, I would very seldom play the first string open like this, because that note is really flat. It's just ringing, but there's not so much life in it. If I play it on the 5th fret on the 2nd string, and you can do a lot of other things with it when you reach it this way. So the second part, I owe you the second part of this melody. Play it on slide, like a. And then we go back. So this is also. So where is this second note? It's too much of a stretch, and then I need to think about dampening up here. So I would rather jump from the seventh fret to the fourth and then back again. So it's like a. And so on and so on. So what you need here for the control of this is to be really aware of where you're going to end up when you glide up to that seventh fret. It's like a. I really need to intonate perfectly, so especially with slide, of course. So I would always kind of have this little bit of anchor on my basses, so they give me this first kind of hint. Okay, where is that note? So I would either play like the D on the fourth string open, or very lightly on the bass. Maybe you've heard how I kind of started playing bass more and more, kind of picking it a bit harder with each part of this fret of this measure, right? Like very lightly in the beginning. Okay, now when I want to describe it, it doesn't go so well. But basically, you can put a lot of dynamics in your playing when controlling the basses. How hard you're going to pick them, with which part of your finger you're going to pick them. There are like maybe 2 or 3 different sounds of this bass string. The first one would be maybe just this very, when I'm almost just brushing it. I'm not using my nail. Or when I angle the finger a little bit. Or when I play with the side of my thumb. You see, here it's more body, nail, and the flesh of the thumb, or just, which is more trebly, and then this. So let's use that. So the last one was with a nail as well. So all these nuances can be applied. You will come up with those things when you play a lot. And it's also another thing, when I play live, I would play with a pickup, my amplifier, pedal board. It's a different kind of physics of the sound and everything. But then I would definitely play with my thumb pick, right? And the thumb pick is, I kind of shorten it a little bit and make it a little bit rounded, you see. So when I play with a thumb pick, I also have kind of different sounds. One would be like this, or when I angle it downwards like a, or this is the bassist, right, sound. But acoustically, into these 2 studio microphones, when I'm playing for you guys, it's a very different sound from when I play live. Because when I play live, I'm using this pickup. It's a Lipstick Chandler, Kent Armstrong. This is an old microphone from the pickup from the 80s. And it used to be in electric guitars. So this guitar, amplified, has a totally different dimension, and it's much boomier than like this acoustically. So when it's boomy, then a thumb pick or any pick of that matter is kind of helping make the notes more concrete. So yeah, well, anyway, just be aware of that. So let's fly between these two notes and then we'll fly away. We're done with the song. So. So I do, 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 do. So I put it into the rhythmic pattern, but each vibrating note is still kind of singing what I'm playing, right? So it's like a. It's. So I'm doing this. And this is also something you need to practice maybe just by itself. Just go from the 4th fret to the 2nd. Many times in a row. And then you just try to jump to the 5th fret because that's your next note on the 5th fret, 2nd string. So there is a dampening going on here. If you don't dampen, it's going to sound. So the first string needs to be dampened, like a. And then just glide with a slide up. And then I picked 4th, 3rd, and the 2nd. Same as the first part of the melody. So, of course, this needs practicing. This needs now to be able to be aware of where those dampened notes are, especially. So at the same time as I'm picking the 2nd string, I'm also putting the 1st string, dampening it by just placing my middle finger on that. It will happen in the beginning that you pick both strings because those two fingers are maybe, thinking together like this. But if you can kind of pick one and let the other just rest on that string, then you'd be able to play like Ry Cooder because he is the master of spider fingers on his guitars. So he can sometimes just put all his five fingers on strings and know exactly where he is, right? Fantastic orientation. Then he would just pick one. Let's say now I'm going to pick the 2nd string. Now I'm going to pick the 4th. Then I'm going to pick the 2nd again. Now I'm going to pick the 1st. I'm not so good at it, but I'm using actually only 2 fingers when I'm playing. So I'm kind of moving these 2 fingers and sometimes helping out with the thumb, especially the. Sometimes it's nice that you accompany the melody with your basses. They don't have to come bow, 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 bow. No, they can be. Comes to mind. So that's it, guys. We've passed the hour. I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I hope you've gotten a quite okay picture of how the melody of I'll Fly Away can be played in open D, and that you enjoy it as much as I did. I thought it was great fun. Let me see, who do we have any new comments? Oh, Gore, you're much too kind. I'm just trying to do my best. Thank you. Thank you kindly. Patrick, oh, I haven't noticed that you came. Welcome. That's great. Great to see you here again. Sound better is better. It is what we deliver, a listening experience. I always arrange and put as much dynamic and variation in what I do. Yes, solo, of course, but also in a duo or in a band. That's great. That's a wonderful attitude. I wish all musicians would think like that. Oh yeah, almost more important than the band for everybody. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Oh, buenos dias. No, buenas noches. It's late evening in Spain as well. Hello, Tom. Great to see you. All right, guys. So, wonderful hour has passed as fast as usual. Just like a whoop. I just see my notice there. Man, you've passed the hour. Okay, I'll take it easy. And don't forget, you can reach me on my socials, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. So we're heading towards 100 live streams in a couple of weeks. So that's going to be great. In 1 month, we're going to be doing the 100th live stream. And that's going to be a special one. David, keep an eye on me. Or I'll keep an eye on you about that. Good. So thanks so much for coming, guys, and I will see you next week. Have a great rest of your week, and play a lot. Bye.
It was in spring, one sunny day. My sweetheart left me, now she went away. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. Things could call me up, down and out by soul. Said, come back, Daddy, Lord, I need you so. Now she's gone, and I don't worry, 'cause I'm sitting on top of the world. Like my peaches, don't you shake my tree. Get out of my orchard, let my peaches be. Now she's gone, I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. In spring, one sunny day, my sweetheart left me, now she went away. Now she's gone, I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top of the world. Now she's gone, I don't worry, but I'm sitting on top